Yo, what's up YouTube? Go to Graham back at it again. Now with all the content on my channel, I'm sure everybody watching knows which class I'm going to be rocking for the foreseeable future. However, now that Season 1 is just around the corner, you might be debating what class to play. But don't worry, Graham's got you covered. Here's why you should play Rogue, Season 1 of Diablo 4. Real quick, I want to preface the video by saying I want to stay objective as possible while still giving my opinion, but at the end of the day we are discussing a subjective matter. Which class you pick should ultimately be determined by your own personal preferences for how you find enjoyment and challenge within the game. With that being said, I can't say with 100% certainty whether all the variables and ratios that go into making the rogue class so good will remain constant going into Season 1. However, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt the fundamental playstyle, mechanics, and concepts that make up what a rogue is won't be altered or hindered in any way. Apart from that, with Blizzard being adamant on buffing all classes, builds, aspects, and other variables within the game that players don't currently use, I would argue against any class or build smiting nerfs being rolled out anytime soon. On the contrary, with the new aspects and malignant hearts, the case could be the opposite, not only for the rogue, but with all classes. Come tomorrow though, the 18th, if there are or even if there aren't any game, class, or build changing tweaks in the patch notes, I'll make a video addressing all of that. So anyways, to get us started, before I get into the facts, I want to start off by saying in my opinion, Rogue is just so much fun. It's capable of being whatever you want, being balanced no matter where you are in your progression, but most importantly, maintaining enjoyability and reliability far into the endgame. So that's why if you're someone who's playing Season 1 just to have a good time, I think Rogue is top tier for you. Especially if you want to delete everything in your path without worry and blast through the game, maybe even trying to get that quick level 100. Keep in mind that there won't be any leaderboards until maybe Season 3, but if you are somebody who wants to hit the ground running and get a fast start, Rogue is by far the best option for you. To be honest, one of the best qualities of the Rogue class is its overall versatility. You want range bow skills? Try out rapid fire or penetrating shot. You want some fast-paced melee combat? Try out Twisting Blades or Flurry. But these are just your core skill options. You have a multitude of other choices to make when it comes to your basic skills, your agility skills, your imbuement skills, your subterfuge skills, and even your ultimate skills. While we're on the topic of versatility, how about Rogue's movement? Not only does Rogue have two immensely overpowered movement skills, but it can also pick up tons of extra movement speed from a multitude of sources. Even better though, if you're like me and you hate CC effects, well don't worry, cause not only does Rogue's movement skill, Shadow Step, double as a CC break, but so does their ultimate skill, Shadow Clone. Meaning maybe you were previously running a Barbarian, a Druid, a Necromancer, or even a Sorcerer, and you were struggling with movement speed or CC effects. Well, Rogue could be the option for you. Moving on from the utility side of the Rogue class though, and onto the combat, as I mentioned previously in regards to versatility, the Rogue has you covered with options to fit any playstyle. But in regards to effectiveness, the Rogue is one of the best. I've pushed DPS values of over 4 million, and I've had no issues with AoE nor crowd control. Absolutely no bosses stand in my way, and most importantly, even with the main flaw or downside of Rogue being the squishiness, I can still hold my own in high nightmare tiers. This is mainly due to the immense amount of damage reduction, armor, and max life I spam on my gear, couple a few universal defensive aspects and a few class specific ones that buff the Rogue's primary defensive skill Dark Shroud, the Rogue is able to become an absolute tank. I will note, even when built specifically for defense in order to push high Nightmare Dungeon tiers, the Rogue never struggled once for damage in my opinion. So this just goes to show you how overpowered the offensive side of the Rogue truly is. With all that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about the Rogue's progression system and how it scales leveling from 1 to 100. If there's anything I learned whilst leveling my Rogue, it's that as long as you maintain maximization, you'll never be behind the power curve. From level 1 and progressing through early game, you start very strong. In fact, arguably the strongest of any class. Not to mention, the class needs little to no prerequisites in order to come online. So without much time or effort, you can have a very viable build no matter which spec you dive into. There are around 5 massive breaking points in regards to scaling. Levels 25, 50, 75, 90, and 100. 25 to 50 is when you wrap up the campaign if you choose to do so. and then you complete the first capstone dungeon, unlocking World Tier 3. Right around 75 or before is when you completely and comfortably transition into World Tier 4. At 90, you have all but completely maxed out your character. At this point, the grind will kick in, as leveling from 90 to 100 is more XP than all of 1 to 90. Apart from that, you will have two goals in mind: beating Uber Lilith or pushing high Nightmare Dungeon tiers. Both will require maximization of your build and gear, meaning near god rolls on your gear, which by no means is an easy task. However, this is where the rogue class excels beyond all others, and can utilize the tools at their disposal to not only make the process of leveling and gear grinding faster and more efficient, but easier at the same time. This is because, as I stated, no matter where you are in your progression, the rogue class is scaled adequately enough to consistently be able to handle content 20 levels higher than you. What I'm really getting at is that because the rogue class is easy to level, easy to understand, and easy to build, with a little bit of help from your friend Good Grand that is, you can achieve anything in the game, and because of everything we've mentioned, speed leveling, farming, clearing, and the ability to keep up with scaling through a bit of min-maxing, the rogue has the best chances to achieve any feat in the game you set your mind to, and can be one of the first ones to do so. Meaning if you want to be the first to clear Uber Lilith, Nightmare Tier 100, or the first 100 in general, Rogue might be for you, as it ramps very fast. Nonetheless though, I'm going to be continuing to push my Rogue build on the Seasonal Realm, and everybody's welcome to follow along with me as I continue to post regular updates as usual. With that being said, I hope this video gave you guys a good insight into the Rogue class as a whole, and hopefully helped make it easier to decide which class to run come Season 1. As usual guys, if you want to stay updated with content like this, my build guide, or any strategies, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or feedback, don't forget to drop it down in the comment section. Thanks for watching guys, and peace out.